Let's look to see how we're going to solve this equation. Note again that we do have an equal sign and we have denominators. So when you have an equation and you're trying to solve it, you want to use the LCM, the least common multiple, to clear out the denominator. So we need to make sure that these denominators are multiplied. Y plus 2 does not factor. Y minus 3 does not factor. But y squared minus y minus 6 does factor. So let's go ahead and factor that out. A minus 3 and a plus 2 I think will do it for us. So we've done multiples. We need to find common. First look common to every single denominator. And there's nothing common to all of them. Then go back and look to see what's common to some of the denominators. Well, some of them have a y minus 3. So we'll use that as part of the LCM. And then also a y plus 2 is common to some of them. That's also part of the LCM. And that accounts for everything. So there are no leftovers. So now we go and we multiply by the LCM, both factors to each term in the problem. The reason why we're multiplying by the LCM is we want to clear out the denominators. So now we want to reduce and make sure that we don't have anything left in the denominator. Also, while we're at it, and I have this nice red color, I'm going to come over here and talk about the restrictions. Restrictions are the values that the variable cannot have because it will cause the denominator to be 0. And the easiest way to see these restrictions is when you're looking at the factor denominator, or the LCM. So we know that with the y minus 3 that should not equal 0, and also the y plus 2 cannot equal 0. So the values that the variable cannot take on, y cannot have an answer of negative 2, and also if we added 3 to both sides of this equation, y cannot take on the value positive 3. So those are our restrictions. Let's go back to our problem and see what we have left. If we use the distributive property, we say y times y is y squared, and y times 2 is plus 2y. Now this subtraction, beware of subtraction, because that means you have to subtract everything you write after that. So this y minus 4 has to get multiplied to this y minus 3. Multiply it out very carefully, and you'll have y squared minus 3y minus 4y and add 12. Then we have our equal sign, and all of this has been reduced, so that just leaves us with that 4y plus 3. Now in order to clear these parentheses, we have to be aware that the subtraction is like multiplying by a negative 1, and we need to distribute that to each term that follows after the parentheses. So we have this y squared plus 2y plus a negative y squared, and that's a negative 7y, but now we need to make that negative, which would make it a positive 7y. And that positive 12 is being multiplied by the negative, giving you negative 12, is equal to 4y plus 3. Let's combine like terms. Adding a y squared and a negative y squared is 0. Adding a positive 2y and a 7y is 9y. And then we have a negative 12 is equal to a 4y plus 3. We have variables on both sides of the equation. So we should add the opposite. Let's actually add that negative 4y to both sides of the equation. 5y minus 12 is equal to 3. Add 12 to both sides of the equation. Y is equal to 15, and then multiply both sides of the equation by 1/5. And that would give us y is equal to 3. But recall, from our restrictions, y is not allowed to equal 3 because that would cause the denominator to be 0. So since y cannot equal 3, this problem has no solution.